Caleb, I was curious, did you ever cross paths with Quinn Priester when you were in high school or summer ball or anything like that?
No, I didn't. This was the first time meeting him. And I believe he went to Cary Grove, which is pretty close to where I grew up in Lake Forest. So I think we actually played them in baseball. I'm not sure if – I assume he was on the team. I didn't know – obviously didn't know him at the time. But, yeah, pretty funny. I didn't know him before this year, though.
A few more for these guys. Go to Adam in the middle, third row.
Isaac, as Churio is going through all his stuff, how are you looking at this opportunity, if it comes, to get back to some regular at-bats? And how big a challenge has that been the last couple of weeks without the regularity of the at-bats?
Yeah, I'm just taking each day, as any other day, and just trying to prepare, whether I'm in the lineup or not. I always prepare pretty much the same way. And, with our team this year, it's always been just the next man up. So, Churio's a big part of this team, and we hope that there is no setback. But if, my name's called upon, I'm going to, be ready for my moment.
JR on the left side.
Caleb, now that you're at the end of your season, can you you've talked about it before, but can you look back at your journey as a third baseman and what it was like for you learning that position when you first started versus how you are now? What point maybe it was where things really started to click for you as a defensive third baseman?
Yeah, I think the last couple of years, having the chance to kind of learn the position a little bit more, really didn't start playing there until my, first or second full season in pro ball. So always really liked it coming up through the minors, but having the chance to really get everyday reps there, especially at this level, I grew a lot, and I think just having that type of everyday reps at this level, you're going to get a lot better just from game reps. So definitely a lot of improvement there. Again, taking ground balls every day with Maddie before the games and Joey and Bryce, they've helped me a ton. So obviously a lot more to improve on, but definitely take pride in knowing that there was a lot of growth there this season.
Stay on the left with Kurt.
For Isaac, when you look at what you did the first 4.5, 5 months of the year, and then you compare it to how the last month or so went, what do you feel like you need to do to get back to that version of yourself?
Just, learn from the mistakes and continue to take the game one pitch at a time. It's a long season, and, had a really good stretch there, middle of the year, and, there's just ebbs and flows. Sometimes the ball bounces your way, sometimes it doesn't, and, the best way to just kind of get back to the best version of yourself is, trusting your process and, what got me to that point. So continually working and just staying present and, again, just being ready for my moment.
Go to Steve, second row in the middle.
For Isaac, the on-base skills you had in the minor leagues, you'd be able to translate to this level. Just what's been the key for you there to be that effective at that part of the game as long as you have?
Just trusting my approach at the plate and, really being stubborn with my approach. The pitcher obviously has his plan. They have their reports. They're scouting me and what they're trying to do, and not falling to his plan and just sticking to what works with me, what works for me, and just trying to execute the game really.
Go up to the top row on the left side.
Caleb, what's Murph's message to you guys heading into this game?
Yeah, same as game one, I think, and just heading into the postseason is pitch by pitch. Nice to be up 1-0, but honestly doesn't matter. I think if we lost game one, we'd have the same approach, and that's just fighting from pitch one to pitch 270 or whenever the game ends. So that's kind of been the mindset from game one, is going to be the same mindset throughout the entire postseason. But yeah, this team has a lot of fight, and it doesn't matter what happens throughout the game. Doesn't matter if they hit a leadoff home run. We're going to keep fighting till the end.
Come over to Bruce, standing up on the left side.
Caleb, facing Imanaga, is it any different approach than you would have for any pitcher? Obviously, you guys are as good at it as anybody not swinging at balls. What is the approach against Imanaga? What's worked for you before?
Yeah, same thing goes with them. It's nice because we've seen them a lot, and we faced, Imanaga 3 or 4 times this year already. So it's nice when you have your own personal film to look at. I think I have 7 at-bats off him already. So that's super nice. You're obviously looking at what he did against you and the way he attacked you and try to learn from it and maybe pick up on any tendencies you think that, he has when facing you in particular. But, we have our hitters meeting later, obviously, and we'll go through, the different ways we want to attack him. But probably is not going to be too different than the way we approached him earlier in the season.
Follow-up is, do you go after him from what you've seen before or what the present version of what you're seeing from him in his last starts?
I think both. I've looked at my at-bats from the first time I faced him and, definitely watching some film when, he faced the Padres in the postseason. So that's good film to watch. And I forget who he faced before that, maybe the Reds. But, you're definitely looking at film pretty recent because pitchers do tend to adjust throughout the year. So you definitely want to pick up on those types of tendencies.
Go back over to the right side, second row.
Hey, Caleb, I don't know the exact details, but, you were traded in the offseason from one team that had an opening at third base to another one. Like, what did you do once the trade happened? What did you do to kind of get in position to, make the major league team and win this job?
Yeah, I think was added to the 40-man with the Yankees to end last season, so automatically I'm kind of going into the next spring training, ideally hoping to fight for a starting spot. So already kind of had that in my mind, knowing that would be an opportunity. So then once I was traded to the Brewers, the only thing that really changed was the team. I still have that mindset of chasing your dream and wanting to play in the big leagues. So I figured it'd be the third base would probably be the spot. So that was kind of an adjustment to, okay, now that's more of my mindset is trying to hold down the corner. But no matter what, I was, fighting to try to make a big league roster, and getting traded to the Brewers ended up being a really cool opportunity for me.
Go back to Adam, third row in the middle.
I have one for both of you guys. Your stories aren't totally dissimilar. Midwest guys, D3 and minor league Rule 5. I'm wondering what you think your paths to sitting on that podium should say to other ball players, and if it says anything about your team, this Brewers team.
You got it.
Yeah, I think it's really cool because we're both probably, I don't want to speak for Isaac, but we're probably both in positions, early on in our college and pro careers where not a lot of people thought that we could be at this spot, speaking into a ton of reporters, ahead of a postseason game. But that being said, I think we believed in ourselves. I know this was obviously something that I wanted to pursue and thought that I could do, and he'd probably say the same thing. But it's nice now because there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of extra stuff going into the postseason, but having the kind of background that we have and that a lot of guys have in this room, we have nothing to lose. We're playing with house money. It's kind of how we feel, but we also feel like we're really good and can go all the way. So it's kind of this really cool balance of, there's a lot of pressure involved, but I don't think we feel too much of it. I think it's just from the type of people that we have, in our clubhouse.
Yeah, to build off of what Durbin said, it really comes down to just believing in yourself. There's been plenty of times in the minor leagues where started questioning whether I could do this. Doubt started to creep in, and you really just have to take those hard moments as lessons and really just try to shift your perspective on things and just keep putting one foot in front of the other. And Durbin and I, we worked hard to get here. We earned every bit of our success up here, and just for other guys that are in the minor leagues, like just never give up. Just keep going no matter how hard it gets, and eventually the ball will start to bounce your way, and you kind of can take that momentum and ride that wave for as long as you can.
Come back to the left side, top row.
Isaac, is there anybody or a group of people inside the clubhouse over the last week that's taken on more of a vocal leadership role? Because I know there are a handful of you that are experiencing postseason baseball for the first time.
Yes and no. I mean, we don't have too many super vocal leaders. We all know who our leaders are, and they know as well. And they throughout the entire year, they've always given us tips and advice of how to go throughout this big league season. But when it comes to the playoffs, I mean, we all trust one another, and nothing really changes. It's just comes down to just really executing the game and trusting your teammates out there and just playing to win.
We'll take one more, staying on the left, third row.
Thanks for both of you guys then. The atmosphere in here on Saturday was crazy. Obviously, we can expect more of that tonight. What is that like to play in front of a crowd like that is just absolutely bonkers? And do you enjoy playing in front of that?
Yeah, it's the best feeling. Yeah, I mean, it's the best because you grow up and you want to play in these big games in the postseason. So finally getting that first little taste, you think about it, and I feel a little spoiled because rookie year, being able to kind of experience that. A lot of guys, throughout their careers don't even get to experience that. So kind of getting that early on under my belt, both of our belts early on in our career is super cool.
Yeah, AmFam was rocking Saturday. Even just for the player intros and the towels waving, that was, like Durbin said, that's what you dream of. That's why we play this game, to win a World Series. It's when you go out in the backyard playing wiffle ball with your friends, you always think about hitting a home run in Game 7 of the World Series. So, for it to be a reality is just incredible. And it's words can't really describe what it's like taking that field with the fans and division rival. It's just it's amazing, and for us to get that win Game 1 is huge.
Murph, being the entertainer you are, how much of that, the old Casey Stengel, Jack McKeon, Ozzie Guillen, taking the pressure off your own players by being out there giving a lot of copy to the media, how much does that come into your thinking about taking pressure off your guys?
It ain't about me. Let's make it clear. Like anything like that is just me being light and I think authentic, but it's just I like to keep it light. I don't have a strategy behind it, to be honest with you. I'm nervous like everyone else is nervous before games, and there's no strategy. There really isn't.
So if Churio's in the lineup, he's obviously good enough to play. I'm just curious, if you've talked to him about how he feels just testing the leg. I know it was kind of in his head when he was coming back from it originally.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's it. It's the mental hurdle. I'm sure it's not 100%, but I'm more worried about behavior than feelings. However he feels isn't as important as how he behaves.
Go to the left side, we go up top, and then we'll come down to Kurt.
Murph? In 2021, you guys were in the same position and the series didn't go your way. Are there any lessons you can learn from that experience and help provide this team?
That was Braves. Yeah. I mean, this is postseason baseball. I mean, you play one pitch at a time, and what happened in 2021, I hardly remember. I remember Freddie Freeman was on that team, and he had a huge hit in that series at a huge time, and there was it's just a different world. I mean, to learn from it, what do I don't know, you learn from every game you coach. You learn from every year you're in. The postseason's hard. It's the best teams in baseball. That means you got in the deal. And wherever we are, there's 8 teams left. Is that right? There's 8 teams left. That's great company. So anything can happen. There's no lead that's safe. There's no 2-0 deficit, or there's no game deficit that prohibits anybody from being capable of doing it again. But learning experience in terms of how we did it back then, I don't think there's things you'd do differently if you knew the outcome, right? If that ball's going to get down instead of get caught, which is it's not a matter of strategy, and well, that changes a lot of things. So it's our game. It's the way we play it. That's why we play 162, because you find out who the best are over time. But in a postseason thing, anything can happen, and you just got to be ready and keep swinging, keep punching.
Go to Kurt in the third row on the left.
Are there any limitations with Churio on running, especially on defense?
I'm sure we're not going to. If he gets in a situation where he feels it, we're going to take him out. If he gets in a situation where he doesn't feel like he can do the job, we're going to take him out.
Is he in there in left field?
Yes.
Go to Steve, second row in the middle.
That was actually my question, but for Ashby, what's been the pitching, putting him right back out there today? Just, he's had a really good productive season for you in a relief role. Just what's been the key to the way he's been able to perform for you all year long?
Yeah, he's been really consistent. He's kind of finding himself as a pitcher in that role of, 6 outs or whatever it might be. He's a guy that likes to throw. He's after his injury, his serious shoulder injury, he's come back last year and this year, and he's been a worker. He just wants the ball every time out. He's a good matchup for righties and lefties, but he's been one of our best. He's been a key to this team being successful.
Go to Steve in the front row.
Hey, Pat, I hate to ask you to repeat yourself. I'm sure you've remarked on this before, but what does it make you feel, if anything?
I do, whether I want to or not. I end up repeating myself. So.
Right. What does it make you feel, if anything, to hear counsel get booed?
I hate it. It's none of my business. But I know this. They never boo a bum. You know what I mean? You're getting booed, you're good at something. And I hate it because I know how much he loves Milwaukee. I know how much he loves the city, he loves the state. There's no one that's more fond of the high school athletic performances than Craig. He follows the guys in basketball, football, baseball, women's basketball. He follows all of it. And this is his residence, and he's, in my mind, but fans will be fans. They're fanatics, so they do what they do, and people pile on and that type of thing. But I think he's above that, and he knows they never boo a bum. So Manny Machado comes here, they boo him every time, and he hits a homer or two. So it doesn't affect the great ones, and I think the fans will come around someday. I do.
Go to Sophia, front row on the right.
Murph, what did you like about just the pressure offensively you guys were able to show in game 1, and just how you can see the guys continue to do that today?
Yeah, that has to be us. We're not going to out-homer teams. That has to be the way we play. We have to take the walk when the walk's there. We have to take advantage of the infield hit or the error if we can. Just keep grinding at bats out. We have to play that way, and that was great to see, especially right out of the box. Hopefully we can do that. I didn't like the last 6 innings approach at all. But you're going to go through those times.
Come down here to the second row.
Murph, back to Ashby. Is there an inning threshold for him tonight before you go to a guy like Priester at all? Or is it just if he's grooving, he's going?
Yeah. I mean, we got to be reasonable, but I think he can give us 3, maybe at the far side, maybe 4, but we'll see.
Go up to Adam in the third row, in the middle.
I didn't see you yet today, Adam. Good to have you.
How are you?
Good.
Murph, how are you thinking of Jose Quintana tonight? Is he
I love that kid.
in play if you need him, or do you want to
No.
have him start a game in this series?
That's a definite possibility. We're going to see how this one goes. All hands on deck, See how this one goes, but yeah, he's definitely in the forefront of our mind.
Go to the far right, second row.
Murph, I'm sure there's another one you get a lot. You have Quinn Priester coming from the beginning of the year when you guys were kind of desperate for pitching, to have him.
Not kind of desperate.
To have him turn in the performance that he did, how much did that mean to your season?
I mean, this kid, you talk about Collins, what he did for us day in, day out. Quinn Priester, an amazing story that we go pluck a kid from AAA that we kind of knew about him. Like, he pitched for Pittsburgh, so we saw him a few times here and there. But you would not peg him as the guy that was going to be one of the flagship guys that's going to help us have the regular season success we've had. So, and to know the kid and the competitor and it's amazing. It's really amazing. I'm really, really happy for the kid. Obviously we've enjoyed having him, but he's just, he's been great.
Go to the second row in the middle.
You said after game 1 and just a couple of minutes ago that you weren't as happy with the at-bats after that second inning. What do you think the difference was in those at-bats, and then what do you take from them moving forward into this game with your approach and how you go at it?
For us, you got to get the first. You know what I mean? The likelihood of just winning with homers or extra base hits comes from swinging at the right pitches. And I just felt like we got a little bit, I don't know if the word's complacent, but I think we didn't have that same mindset. It's very tough when you've scored 9 runs. It's very tough to have it. And credit the Cubs pitching. They knew us, and they pitched to us very well. Savali threw the ball great. The Ben Brown kid's breaking ball was, special. So that leads to that poor approach sort of thing. You know what I mean? It's not easy. But I think the urgency to score more runs goes down a little bit when you have a big lead. And we're based on that urgency to get to first, somehow create first base.
We'll finish up with Kurt on the left in the third row.
Murph, in game 1, we saw a handful of adjustments. Freddie kind of going with a lot of the secondaries after Bush got him on the homer. The offense, Durbin talked about it. They wanted to be more aggressive against Boyd when he was attacking the zone early. How much of that do you feel like is these two teams know each other so well that you have to make adjustments to catch them by surprise, and how much of it is that's just the playoffs?
Yeah, no, there's a little bit of that in there, Kurt. We know the team very well. We know the player, what they're capable of. But baseball, a good executed pitch is a good executed pitch. Matt Boyd didn't execute the pitches he wanted to. I've seen the guy dominate us. So he didn't execute pitches the way he could have, and we were ready for when he didn't execute pitches. And that happens for everyone. Then Freddie goes out and realizes, boom, that they're looking this way, so we're gonna go, and Contreras is a big part of that. So he jockeyed him through that thing in a great way, and Freddie executed the pitches. But it comes down to executing pitches, both offensively and defensively. So you execute the pitch, you hit a ball hard, and they catch it. Nothing else you can do. If that happens 2 or 3 times, then you look like, wow, they don't have a good offensive approach. Now, even off Savali, we hit some balls really, really hard, but they got caught. So, or they maybe were a little different trajectory than they could have been. Well, that changes the inning. So little things matter. One little play leads to something else. One pitch leads to something else. That's why we play so many, to find out who the best is. You know, if you played a 30-game season, there'd be different teams in the playoffs. You know, but here we are, and now, you know, we got to do what we can to piece together whatever we can piece together to try to win tonight, and keep doing that if we can.